Double J, Jeff Jarrett, here to tell you a little bit about the nonstop savings happening over here at SaveWithConrad.com. Are high credit card balances holding you down on the card? If you're looking to give a guitar shot to your credit card debt or give your home the push it deserves with some upgrades and remodeling, you need to go to SaveWithConrad.com. That's right, SaveWithConrad.com. Conrad and his team are routinely helping my world listeners save $5, $6, $7, even $800 a month. Oh, did I mention you get to skip your next 2 house payments? Take a cue from the last outlaw, because if anybody knows how to get the bag, it's me. Strut on over to SaveWithConrad.com today and see how much money you can save for free. That's right, it's SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
You ever had deja vu? Okay, why don't we start this over again?
Now, listen, we're having a lot of fun. A lot of this is going to wind up on the editing room floor, but welcome to What Happened When with Tony Schiavone. We are going to be watching a very special edition of WrestleMania today.
Yes,
we're talking WrestleMania 1. And this is going back 40 years, March 31st, 1985. Pretty fired up about this one.
Yeah.
Because this is, not a WrestleMania that ages well, but it is the granddaddy of them all. This show's all about nostalgia. Why not do some nostalgia together? Now, we're going to be watching an abbreviated version of WrestleMania 1. We'll be skipping Beefcake and San Martino Jr. and JYD versus Greg Valentine. Okay. So we're going to be watching a total of 1 hour and 43 minutes of old school wrestling today.
Right.
But for people who are watching along on Peacock, we want you to join us at season 1, episode 1. And I think our first match today is going to be Tito Santana versus the Executioner. Tony, what's going on? Are you taking us to the gun show? Do you want to do that again? Let's go. Yeah, here
ready?
We go.
Ready? Everybody ready?
We're ready.
Oh, fuck, man. Yeah. No, I don't. Where are we here? Oh,
we're watching WrestleMania. It was the very first one. It's over on Peacock.
Should we say something about the big Dynamite coming up?
You know what? That's great. I'm glad you mentioned that, because as folks are listening to this, there's about to be a historic milestone. If you're AEW, Dynamite is going to have one more episode than Nitro as of this coming Wednesday. So as you're listening to this, it's later tonight.
Yeah.
And it's in a pretty badass venue. One of the more picturesque venues I think AEW has ever ran.
Yeah.
It's a part of Fenway Park too. Yep. So if you're a baseball fan, man, this is checking a lot of boxes, isn't it?
It's going to be very cool. It's going to be 2 nights of live TV, live on TBS on Wednesday, live on TVNT on Thursday, and of course, streaming on Max on both nights. A live Collision on Thursday, not on Saturday this week. So it is pretty cool. And I need to say something here, and most people are going to say, oh, you're a suck up. Yeah, I am. This has been, it hasn't always been a smooth road working with AEW. There's been bumps, and I'm talking about bumps that you have not seen, bumps that have not been reported by 411 Fuck Sheet and all the other stooges that pretend to be journalists. But it has had the bumps. It really has had. But when I think about what this company has done and what Tony Khan has done for everybody who works backstage, he gave us new life. He completely changed our lives. Everybody who works for him, he changed our lives, especially people in the front office. So that means a lot. And so when he talks about this being a special moment, he's talking about it because he loves wrestling on a nostalgia level, like we do. And so it's Tony has done a lot for us. So I'm going into this show on Wednesday thinking about what Tony has done for us and some of the things he's come up with that have helped things out. You know, right now, Tony Storm, Timeless Tony Storm, is probably the biggest woman star that we have. Well, not probably, is the biggest woman star we have. And that's because it was a character that Tony Khan developed. Tony Khan came up with the idea. RJ City took the idea and, of course, wrote some scripts for it and everything. But it was Tony's idea. And he's come up with some very good ideas for us over the last 6 years. If you think about Stadium Stampede, if you think about the double cage or going up on top of the double cage, he's come up with some very, very good ideas for us. And it's been our idea to implement them, our charge to implement them, which we have done to the best of our ability. So, I really feel that this is going to be a very special night for many, many reasons. And I thank the fans. The Owen Hart tournament. Thank you, Coach Rosie. That's another thing that Tony Khan came up with. So it's been a lot of fun, and this is going to be a very, very special night for us, especially when I think back to Nitro and I think about how difficult things were at the end. They were so difficult at the end. And when I go back and I look at some of the Nitros, you mentioned that Conrad, this WrestleMania 1 probably doesn't age well for the modern fans. I would venture to say the very, very last 2 months of WCW hasn't aged very well for the fans. But it's been a lot of fun being a part of this, and I look forward to seeing what we got coming up for the next couple of weeks.
I, for one, did not even consider what you just laid out about the significance in regards to Tony Khan's accomplishment, if you will, because I know he had a certain set of goals when he launched this thing. I really get nostalgic about Tony Khan's influence on the business around the anniversary of Dynamite. So I'm usually thinking about that in October.
Right.
Hey, here in April, listen, let's not deny that some of the names and all that wasn't loosely inspired by Nitro. So the little big brother, I guess, getting a little older, let's celebrate it. But I don't necessarily think that the online conversation about Nitro versus Dynamite is a productive one. It's like, can we not just appreciate AEW for what it is without making a comparison to something else? Does that make sense?
Sure, it does. Absolutely does. But that's what they want to do. So, and again, social media has changed the dynamic of what we do. There wasn't social media back in the Nitro era like it is now, and I don't even think there was social media back in the Nitro era.
It was barely email back then.
Right. Yeah, we just started an email. You're right. So it's changed the dynamic. What I've said before, and I like to say that, is what that social media has done is give idiots a voice, but it's also given voice to some very, very intelligent people. And so I kind of take social media with a grain of salt. So the discussion that you're talking about basically has no influence on me. But what does have an influence on me is what Tony Khan has done for us.
No doubt.
And again, I go back to this timeless Tony Storm thing. It was an idea he had from watching a movie. He thought Tony Storm would play a great character. And listen, has Tony Storm not just gone home run, gone full into this? So as we go in to take a look at WrestleMania 1, that may not air, may not go back, and with the fans, they may look at it and go, just remember that the modern era of wrestling, Tony Khan has had a profound influence into that from what he's put on TV. And obviously so have the people in the WWE. I can't deny that. But wrestling has changed, and it's changed for the better when Dynamite started back in October 2019.
Want to give a quick shout out to a friend of the show, part of the family, Coach Keith Morrison, who says, what's up, guys? I need help and prayers for my ad-free family. Had to put my 14-year-old dog down today. It hurts like hell. His dog's name was Nick.
Oh, man.
And Coach Keith continues, I'm hurting so bad I couldn't even go into work tonight.
I don't blame you, Nick. Yeah.
Just considering what you went through not all that long ago with Bug, I know this one hits home for you.
Lois and I, we had a moment about Bug today, and she started crying and hugged me, and we just stood there in the kitchen because we just got talking about him. And I told her the story that I don't want to make this about me or Bug because Keith, we really appreciate your friendship and support, and we're feeling for you. But the clothes that I had on when we had to put Bug down, which was in my lap, are still hanging in the back of my door a year later, and I won't get them washed, and I won't wear them again. But losing a dog, the thing of it is, George Carlin said on one of his routines a long time ago because he was a dog lover. He said, when you get a dog, you know the deal. You understand what could be in the future, and more than likely is in the future. And we love our dogs with all of our heart. Like, I've got 2 of them right here, as you can see, and there's a little Dobby right there. We love them with all of our heart and give them everything, but we know that they're in our lives for only a short period of time. I read somewhere where someone had said that when we leave this earth, we will all of our belongings to our children, our grandchildren, or donate them to something. That is our will. But when a dog leaves this earth, he wills the love that you gave that dog to another dog. So that's what I thought I did. I thought the love that I gave the bug, I willed to Dobby here and to Kirby here and rescued them from a dog rescue. So you will the love. So I know it's going to take some time, Coach Keith. I know it is, but take some time, rescue yourself another dog, and you'll love this dog. Like again, you'll learn to love a dog again. So we're thinking about you, buddy.
Tough, I love doing this podcast with you. Thanks for being our TV wrestling dad.
Yeah, welcome.
Let's fire up some old school wrestling. Get your Peacock out. Go to season 1, episode 1 of WrestleMania.
Wait a minute.
Not WrestleMania with a number, just regular ass WrestleMania.
Chris North just posted that Roman just pie-faced Heyman. Are you sure that was not Heyman just ate a pie?
Well, listen, I can tell based on what you're putting down that you wish maybe there was some different dietary choices. Can I recommend Magic Spoon? Magic Spoon makes high protein, 0 sugar cereal and treats reinvented from your childhood. You can actually taste the nostalgia. Magic Spoon is also launching a brand new high protein granola. True to the Magic Spoon promise, it's packed with protein and so crunchy. By now, you've heard me bragging about the new high protein treats that are crispy, crunchy, and airy from Magic Spoon. They're an easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go, and they come in great flavors. Marshmallow, which tastes just like the ones Mom used to make, plus chocolate peanut butter, and maybe my favorite, double chocolate. But now the brand new granola packs in 13 grams of protein, but 0 added sugars, and more delicious flavors like dark chocolate almond, honey almond, and peanut butter. Get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/WHW, or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/WHW for $5 off. So, Tony, I'm locked and loaded, ready to go here for WrestleMania. Are you ready on your end?
I guess I am. I guess what we're going to do is start at double zeros. I'm sorry, 5 zeros. And we're going to play up until a certain point.
Yep.
And then we're going to stop and we are going to fast forward and go to another point.
Yep.
Let's call in our great producer, our crack producer, not a crackhead, but our crack producer, Dave Silva. Dave, if you'll come aboard here with us and instruct us on what we have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great state of Texas, Dave Silva. Dave?
Hey, folks. Dave Silva here.
Hey, Dave.
Jump on your Peacock and start at the beginning, and then Conrad will tell you when to pause and fast forward and hit play again. Take it away, Conrad.
You mean I could have gone right to Conrad with that without getting Dave on here?
2, 1, play. So here's the primitive open of WrestleMania. Look at these 1985 graphics here, Tony.
Twin Towers first, brother. New York City. We'll move it up in the right corner here, bring in the WWF logo. And it's time for WrestleMania. That's right. Take a look at this masked man. And take a look at these two. And is that SD Jones? Oh my God, Matt Borne, Ricky Steamboat.
San Martino Jr.
and
JYD and Greg Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going through all the matches. I'm just realizing these are the matches.
And Sheik, fucking the Hulk Hogan. And the, what are they called? The All-American, American Express, something like that. Andre and Big John Studd.
How about Cyndi Lauper right there with Wendy Richter? Of course, Leilani Kai is her opponent with Fabulous Moolah in her corner. But there's your main event. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, fresh off of the A-Team, B.A. Baracus. And there you go, Mr. Wonderful and Roddy Piper Of course, your special guest referee enforcer, Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
There's Billy Robinson. I wonder if there was any vodka there, maybe a little gin.
Mhm.
Oh, how about your man Liberace? All the stars are here for WrestleMania. Of course, we know we're going to see the Rockettes and a whole lot more.
Mhm.
It is interesting to think about how much just the graphic presentation, and I mean, look at the way this thing is lit.
Yeah.
Like wrestling doesn't look like this anymore, even on a weekly basis, much
Nope.
less WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah, it just shows you how TV has come forward.
Jason Taylor is asking, was this the only Mania with a tag match as the main event? No. We had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens against the Usos, and last year we had The Rock and Roman against Cody and Seth.
Mm.
So I know you're going to say, well, that's night one, but those are your tag matches. And there's Howard Finkel.
Yep.
By the way, I know we've said it before, but I really, really wish you guys had one of those for Dynamite tonight.
Yeah.
Come down from the ceiling. That'd be so cool.
That'd be tremendous. It really would. There is a rumor out there. I don't know if it's rumor. Probably Bruce could have told you better than me that Howard Finkel was the one that coined the term WrestleMania.
Yes, originally it was going to be Colossal Tussle.
Well, WrestleMania works a little bit better. Howard's no longer with us. Mean Gene's no longer with us. My God.
Do you think, there was some discussion recently about Iron Mountain and the fact that the government kept so many records there, and we know that WWE used to keep some of their tapes there. Do you think Howard Finkel's legendary porn collection is in Iron Mountain?
Don't know. I'm going to be very honest with you. I know you talk a lot of crazy shit, and I go, "Oh, shut up, Conrad." I don't know anything about Howard Finkel's porn collection.
Oh, well, ask JBL or Bruce Pritchard or
Okay.
anyone who.
All right.
Yeah, just legendary, great stuff.
Yeah.
My man Bryant wants to know, Tony, did you as a fan think this was too much celebrity involvement for a wrestling event? Of course, you've been at the real, everybody calls this the granddaddy of them all, but really that's Starrcade. I want to remind you all that the genius Dusty Rhodes came up with Starrcade Thanksgiving 83. This is the end of March 85. So, 18 months prior to this was Starrcade. From your perspective, did you feel like there was too much celebrity involved in this or just the right amount?
I thought it was just the right amount. I thought it made it the idea was make it a bigger than life event. And to do that, you would probably have to get celebrities involved. During this time, even after this, my God, this one breaks my heart because there was no better man in wrestling than Lord Alfred Hayes. But what I was going to say is that we attempted so many times to get the rub from celebrities in WCW and couldn't get it until Hogan came aboard. And so this was always a great crossover. And I thought it was just enough.
What do you think Tito's saying right here?
I just said, so tell me what I want to know with you, Tito Santana, where in the hell did you get that hair? Well, Mean Gene, I got it from Dave Silva. I stayed in Dave Silva's basement for 24 days in San Antonio, Texas. And when I woke up, my hair was like this. You know why? Dave Silva was sitting on my head. Arriba!
And now here comes the...
What the fuck is this?
Can you believe this is the first match in WrestleMania? My God, what do you think he's saying?
I know exactly. That's what the girl told me at the bar last night. I know. Everybody says it's enormous, bigger than most. Well, I was there too. Absolutely. Let's go back to the ring.
Do you know who that was in real life?
I recognize the face kind of, but I can't. Who was it?
Playboy Buddy Rose.
Playboy Buddy Rose. The Executioner and Tito Santana kicking off WrestleMania. Huh? Look at that. Look at that face. He's from parts unknown.
Here's what's crazy too. It's interesting that I think so many people don't even, we all know Tito Santana became a real staple with the WWF and a big part of what they were doing for a long time. Even to this day, it's Dave Silva's very, very favorite wrestler.
Is it really?
Oh, loves him so much. He to this day he has a Tito poster in his home studio.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to say is, I believe this is actually Playboy Buddy Rose's last match in the WWF before he takes a hiatus. I mean, I know he's going to come back in 1990.
Yeah.
But I think this is it. Can you imagine, like, you're in the opening match on WrestleMania and that's it? You finished up, no more WWF. It feels like to me, you do whatever it took to stay the hell put right there in the WWF after this.
Yeah, but you just never know. I mean, so many crazy things happen backstage, and so many wrestlers are different, and so many people. I mean, so many wrestlers have their own idea of what they can do, and I can make more money doing this, or I can make more money doing that, and I'm not getting the push I should get, and blah 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 blah. So you never know exactly what it is. But again, it amazes me how dark it is here, right? I mean,
Not
now
only that, but how loose the ropes are. I mean, did you see them run the ropes? They
Yeah.
damn near hit the floor.
Yeah, but you know what? The WWE was like that for a while. I don't watch them now. Are they still like that with loose ropes?
No. They got skippity doo-dahs. Now, that being said, Penta on his first show on Netflix, he did trip or mistime something because he was so used to working on cables. And this was his first match with ropes, probably. So,
Okay.
yeah, there's probably a little difference there.
Okay.
People are saying in the group chat here,
Yeah.
our live studio audience, that Playboy Buddy Rose in this mask reminded them of the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. Are you in the loop on that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good call. Absolutely.
Zed's dead, baby.
Yeah. I mean, did the Executioner have any airtime on WWE TV, or they just put the Buddy Rose in a mask for the show and say, be the Executioner for the opening?
They needed somebody to put Tito over.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, I through the week I will cultivate some silly shit.
Yes, I do.
And send it to Dave. And
Is our girl with us this week?
well, I don't know what we got. It's a smorgasbord of surprises.
Okay.
But I think we've got something ready to play right now. Let's hit it, Dave.
I'm macaroni. Don't have sex with me. Even though I sound like sex when you stir me, doesn't mean you can just fuck me. I'm macaroni. Gosh, take a girl out to dinner first. Wait, I'm dinner. Guess you're gonna have to eat me. Eat me out. But not like that. Don't even think about it. Baby, this macaroni's flying so low. Don't catch feelings for the macaroni. Macaroni gotta live its own life for a while. Macaroni doing macaroni. You do you.
Your thoughts, Tony?
Well, if you're looking for a program to scrape the bottom of the barrel on the internet, we're your go-to program.
You didn't find that entertaining?
I found it hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's scraping the bottom. It's like, well, let's say, where is Ashley, 80% off girl? Do we have something with her this week?
Well, the rumor and innuendo is she's back. Let's just blow our load right here in the first 10 minutes of WrestleMania. Here we go.
Come on.
Hi guys, my name is Ashley, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to play ping pong. Just kidding. I don't know anything about ping pong, and my name isn't Ashley, but for 80% off, you can see my
80% off. She's looking for a deal. So if you're looking for a deal, just look no further than Ashley.
So for you guys who want to see that again, we will play it again because it has become quite a fixture here on What Happened When. Did we try to find her to do some things for us?
What do you want her to do, Tony?
I don't know. Maybe she could say, I'm here on What Happened When. If you
hang on. I did something like this with Whitney Wright once, and I got heat from your whole family. So I just cut all that off.
You didn't get heat from me, buddy.
Well,
and by the way, I haven't heard or seen from Whitney ever since the comic book came out.
Which part of her are you looking for?
Well, just seeing how she's doing. She in my birthday, remember, she did a video for me.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I keep up with her a little bit. It looks like she's doing pretty well.
Let's hear for Whitney.
You know, I am curious. You think that girl Ashley? I know that she doesn't know much about ping pong. You think she's got any experience with ping pong balls?
You never know. Maybe she's playing beer pong or something like that.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Clearly,
No, that's not what you meant, but that's what I said. And she looks kind of young. I mean, like, well, listen, at my age, all girls look young to me. Hey, Tito won the first match. Arriba.
did you just roll that R? Let's go to a one.
Arriba.
Silva, can you tell us the correct pronunciation?
Arriba.
Oh wow, he did a full blown Tito impression. Did you hear that?
Yes.
He did it real breathy, like.
Yeah, I know.
No, Chris North, we're not doing beer pong with Ashley at Starcast.
Why not?
Man, you know how hard it is to get AEW approval on things? You think we got the ping pong girl coming now?
Wow.
I will tell you this, though. Her doing those promos for us could hit. I just don't see old TK approving that sort of marketing. Just a guess.
Well, why don't she just do promos for what happened when for us?
Okay, goddamn, I'm on it. All right, so King Kong Bundy and Special Delivery Jones are going to be next. You want to guess how long this match could go, Tony?
3 minutes and 55 seconds, maybe?
Less.
Whoa, 2 minutes?
Less.
Okay.
Keep going.
$1.30.
Less.
1 minute.
Less.
30 seconds.
Less.
10 seconds.
Less.
It's not going to happen.
9 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
The promo lasts longer.
Okay.
I'm about to go out here and get my ass beat right here in Madison Square Garden. And this bald motherfucker, he's got to do more work than me. I just go out there, go up, go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. King Kong Bundy gonna whoop my ass. Won't take long, but I'm gonna get the pay window, baby.
SD Jones had no idea where the camera was on that promo. He was looking somewhere else.
Yeah, baby, here comes my big Matt Dawkins or Mike Dawkins looking motherfucker. If I had a little dollar frame from Hobby Lobby, I could make a full blown gimmick out of this, Daddy. Look at this big motherfucker here. I mean, dude, are you telling me that's not Dawkins?
That is Dawkins.
If Dawkins was not actively fighting his diabetes,
yeah,
he'd be King Kong Dawkins.
That's a combination of Paul Heyman and Mike Dawkins right there. What that is.
I got to ask Dawkins if he could just take a photo of a light bulb in his mouth. I could have Silva Photoshop it on.
So this thing is going to be what, 9 seconds, you say?
Yep. So
right.
basically your lovemaking sessions. Yambag Jones says, I like that he's still wearing the Rolex. So yeah, in one of those pre-tapes there, he's sporting the Rolex. I got to say though, you know, when you think about iconic figures from this era of wrestling, King Kong Bundy, he feels like a prototype of the over-the-top wrestling that made the 1980s fun.
Yeah.
I think he was even, I might have this wrong, but it feels like he's the type of wrestler who would make a special guest appearance on the Vicki Lawrence show, Mama's Family. Like if you need a giant wrestler to do some over-the-top airplane spins and, you know, all that sort of shit, then, oh, he's your guy.
Yeah. Did he have a run with Hogan? Did they have an angle?
He did. He's going to main event Hogan next year at WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah, and that's the WrestleMania where they were in like 2 or 3 different locations.
3 towns, that's right.
Chicago, LA, and
New York.
New York, yeah.
And there it is, the bear hug, the squish in the corner, the push in the corner. And another big splash. Down goes SD and another big splash. The ref's already counted 1 as soon as he fell. There it is. It's over. We're 2 matches deep in WrestleMania, Tony.
Wow. How about that?
Darren Staley's with us, and he says, this is for now and a later match. They say Andre had heat with other giants. Is that true? Did Andre hate Bundy or Stud more? Did you spend much time with Andre? Which of the giants did he not like that you knew?
Do not know that at all. My dealings with Andre were very, very superficial. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Goodbye. That was about it. You know, I guess I would have learned more had I stayed around longer in the WWE, you know, but I was on my way to Georgia.
I would have loved to have seen you. I mean, I can just imagine the fun times you would have had with Andre. It feels like you guys on camera just would have been awesome.
I would have loved to gotten to know him and work with him. Dave McClay has just joined us, fresh off of his latest postal run. Dave, we're coming to Boston. Are you coming to the matches? He will.
Inquiring minds don't want to know. Hey, I've got something here that I need to show you. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready. Go ahead.
We got something from Mr. Rogers. And some people might even say you might be the Mr. Rogers of wrestling. And, well, let's take a look at this.
Okay, let's listen to a little bit of this song.
Somebody say, hey, we want some pussy. Hey, we want some pussy. Let me say, hey, we want some pussy.
So, that's the end of that part.
What do you think of Mr. Rogers cranking out the jams for the kids back in the day? That's exactly how I remember it as a Ute.
I never did watch Mr. Rogers.
Oh, well, you missed that episode. It was a good one.
I sure did. Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about the way they're doing promos here, where you're bringing in baby faces and heels kind of right behind each other in a single shot?
I know
it's efficient, but it sort of implies that these guys who are opponents, they're right there shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, I know. It's very weird. It's nothing that I've ever seen done before or after.
How much shit do you think Ricky Steamboat was on right there?
I don't think Ricky. I'm not so sure he was on shit.
You don't think Ricky did PEDs?
I don't know. I mean, I can't accuse anybody of doing PEDs.
You ain't got eyes?
Well, I got eyes. It doesn't mean anything.
You're going to be one of these guys who says, well, Brock Lesnar never failed the drug test.
No, I'm not going to say that at all. I'm going to say that you can get a body working hard.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yep. I buy it.
Right.
Totally makes sense to me. John Cena never did shit either.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you're not getting me accusing anybody of using PEDs. You're not. It's unfair to say that.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I don't give a shit. There's wrong with nothing. I'm not accusing people of shit I don't know about.
I do podcasts with people who get testosterone on a monthly basis.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
I asked my doctor one time, I said, do I need testosterone? He went, don't think so.
Nah, I mean, you hadn't fucked since Nitro.
Yeah, boy. Said, you're probably not wrong. Did
think about that from when Nitro went off the air to now? That's the real streak they should be talking about tonight on Dynamite. You've only had Cooter once since Nitro.
Mm-hmm. Sure have.
And now that I'm thinking about it, it was after she saw that Whitney Wright had made a video for you. You know what, Coach Rosie, let's get to work on Ashley. We got to get Ashley doing some promos for WHW. We're going to get Tony some stank on his hang low.
No, I don't want it.
Dave McClay wants to know, Tony, what are you ordering from Kowloon this week? You going to Kowloon? What are you getting?
Well, I don't know what I'm getting. Of course, you know, we've got 2 nights in Boston, and I haven't heard from our good friend Andy from Kowloon's, but I hope to hear from him. I don't know. You know, I really don't get much sleep in my life.
Only at home.
I don't get much sleep at home in my life. So I'm going to take the time after Dynamite on Wednesday or tonight, as this podcast is dropping, and get some sleep and sleep late. And I'm just probably going to go right from Fenway to the hotel and then get a lot of sleep. That's probably what I'm going to do.
Sometimes when you can't sleep, do you try to make knuckle children just to see if that helps?
Nope.
Wow, man, that's my go-to. If I can't sleep, I'm like, well, let me see if I can cut hand right fast.
You know what I did? Last night I took a couple of Tylenol PMs.
Oh, there you go. Let's get drugs going.
Yeah. Got up at it's over-the-counter drugs, mind you, and got up at 5:15 this morning, and then fell back asleep and just couldn't get back up, and was like, God bless America. I was just groggy all day. But anyway,
Can I recommend that you try some over-the-counter gummies that have CBN in it?
yeah, I've seen those. And
I recommend it.
there's some gummies you can get at certain locations, certain states that help you sleep too. But I don't know. I don't know.
Chris North points out the obvious fact, and it is worth repeating. I was not trying to imply that Ricky Steamboat was breaking the law. In 1990, steroids were legal or were made illegal. So in 1985, he's totally cool to get whatever he wants.
Well, that's fine, but I can't say. I mean, it's wrong to look at a guy and say, "Oh, he's on something." It's just wrong.
I didn't say he was. I asked
Yeah.
if you thought he was, and you said no.
There you go. Dave McClay said.
Go ahead.
Dave McClay says, "I'll hook you up with some good gummies, Tony." Dave, I've got a bag man for gummies.
A bag man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to tell us who that is?
No, I don't.
Wow. Don't want to blow somebody's cover. I got
Nope.
you.
Right. I mean,
so there was some news this week that I think you might find of particular interest. And I don't know why seeing Matt Borne wrestle makes me think of this, but it does. Let's go ahead and take a look at this headline here.
Man arrested in Bibb County on charges of sex with chicken dog.
Chicken, comma dog.
Chicken, comma dog.
Yeah. The 24-year-old man was arrested Thursday and taken to the Bibb County Jail on charges of bestiality, according to court documents. Braden Majors is accused of having sexual intercourse with a chicken and a dog on or about December 1st, 2024.
Okay.
Lots to unpack here.
Go back to that last. There's another thing to read. Okay.
He's charged. Go ahead.
He's charged with 2 counts of bestiality, which is a Class A misdemeanor in Alabama. Misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail or fine of $6,000. Has made the decision not to publish his mugshot because of the crime's classification as a misdemeanor. What?
Yeah, so they didn't show his photo, but they damn sure said his name.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but it made me laugh that they said that this happened on or about December 1st, because all I could think was, who in that barnyard was a narc? Who's titling? I mean, we're in fucking April, and it's just now come. Were they late filing a police report? Did the other chickens have to get some? Was this like Lassie for bestiality? What's that girl? There's a what?
Got it.
Okay, bitches and cocks. What are you gonna do? Well, that's it. Ricky Steamboat has just beat Matt Borne, and at the conclusion of the match here, we're gonna fast forward, Tony, to 57-23. So if you're watching along with us on Peacock, go to 57-23. That's 57 minutes and 23 seconds inside Peacock. Telling you that, Tony, because we sent you a link. So if you're watching your downloaded link, you don't have to do that.
57. No, I went to Peacock. 57-23. We will wait for you to get to 57-23. And as we're waiting, Conrad, what would you like to talk about?
Well, I know that we've got a big Dynamite coming up tonight, but what everybody's talking about is last week's Dynamite. We saw, as you're waiting to get to 57-23, we saw the return of the Young Bucks to Dynamite.
Yeah.
And Kenny Omega came out, and then here came Okada. A lot of people are getting pretty fired up about the potential of another Okada Omega match. Of course, nothing's been official, but there's lots of hope that we may see that match later this year. It feels like the stars are aligning for a big summer for AEW right now, Tony.
Yeah, it should be a big summer. Just loaded with talent when you think about Omega and the Young Bucks coming back, and Okada with us, and Will Ospreay with us, and John Moxley, and Claudio, and Adam Copeland, and Christian's going to be back pretty soon. So it's really going to be a great summer for us, I think. I'm really excited about it. We got some great talent. Unfortunately, Pac was injured. We talked about that on Saturday. and he's going to be out for a while. Jay White's injured. He's going to be out for a while. So Orange Cassidy's injured. You know, we haven't seen him in quite a while. Don't know when he's going to be coming back. We got the injuries, but we still got the talent in place to make for a great summer.
Tony, you want to tell everybody what you're looking at 5723 there?
Yeah, I'm looking at. It looks like the an open of. It looks like the a ring, and it looks like they're getting ready to fly in the WrestleMania Madison Square Garden graphic.
And 3, 2, 1, play. And so here we are, and there is old Well Rope himself. Man, what a moment here at WrestleMania as you see our tag team match headed to the ring right in front of Lord Alfred Hayes. Here comes the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff. Freddie Blassie is their manager. They're going to be taking on the U.S. Express, and they come in as the tag team champions. Of course, we know them better as Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. How crazy is it to think, as we go back to a pre-taped interview, that is kind of wild. We just saw them walk past them on the way to the ring, and then we go back to the locker room. But this is what, production looked like in 1985.
Yeah, and there are two types of interviews. There are interviews that we've seen with the WWE logo, the WWF logo, that have been pre-taped previously, and then these are the ones that are backstage in Madison Square Garden right now.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where the other interviews were done, to your point, but they were in front of a logo. That was the locker room, though. And do you have a preference? Do you like the locker room look as far as a pregame interview set, or do you prefer the logo?
I like the locker room look for pregame. Look at Albano. Holy smokes.
You got any fun Albano
Never met him.
stories?
Never met him.
Feels like he and Dave Silva would get along fine. I think Dave Silva could pull off Captain Lou Albano for Halloween.
I think he could too. When's the last time you had a Halloween party?
Halloween.
This past year?
Every year there's a Halloween.
You have a Halloween party?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God. Okay.
I mean, I like to party. What do you mean say?
Yeah, our lives are so much different. So many. We hand out candy and go to bed.
Nobody comes to my house for candy. I know you've never been to the house, but I'm like,
yeah, you're way out.
I got a quarter-mile long driveway.
Right.
I'm on 5 acres, so like nobody's making their way all the way up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm tucked away.
Yeah.
Which is cool from a privacy standpoint, but you won't get any trick-or-treaters.
Right.
But it does mean if you want to, pull your cock out on the back porch, you can. Nobody's going to see it.
Except some geese.
Yeah, and they don't think it's food or anything, so they don't go after it.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah, I don't know. Halloween.
What do you think of the presentation of these quote unquote foreign heels? I mean, Nikolai Volkoff singing the Russian national anthem. It's such a simple thing, but man, how effective was this in 1985? You know it?
Well, we're in the Cold War, right?
Yes.
Yes. So there you go. Look, if they threw something to Nikolai, it bounced all the MSG logo. How are guys dressed up in tuxes? I was talking about this with Lois today. I think I brought this up here. What is it about the 80s that I love so much?
It's back when you, yeah, that is a great question. I don't know why you love it so much about that era, because most people are nostalgic about the decade that they grew up in.
Right. And
you were already a grown ass man with kids.
Well, we started having kids in 82, but I graduated from high school in 76. So I grew up in the 70s, basically.
Wow.
And graduated from college in 1980. Got married in 81, started having kids in 82. When I talk about how wonderful the 80s were, Lois will say, well, I was having kids during the entire 80s. But I think it was the fact that I went from college, 80, and I had my career ahead of me, right? I mean, I was doing baseball, and I started doing wrestling, and it was just an exciting time. And we've also had our listeners in here say that the best movies, David McClay says best movies, best music. I just don't know. I just love the 80s. And when I think about the 80s being 40 years ago, good God, where has time gone? And but the 80s to me were the best time. They were the absolute best. It was the absolute best decade of them all. And it just went by so fast. And then 90s, moved to Georgia in 1990 here, and been here ever since. And that's my life, and that's my life in a capsule.
Isn't it interesting to take a look and think about how much different wrestling is going to look shortly? You know, Nikolai Volkoff and the Iron Sheik are shortly going to start phasing out. I mean, they've still got a few years here. But really, I think I would argue that Mike Rotunda was about to enjoy his biggest success on his next run here in the WWF. He's going to wind up working for Jim Crockett Promotions. But ultimately, I think he probably had his most iconic run as IRS, Erwin R. Shyster.
Right.
I mean, he's going to have tag matches at WrestleMania against Hulk Hogan instead of against the Iron Sheik. And February the following year, around Valentine's Day, actually, on February 14th, 1986, Battle of the Belts 2 is when Barry Windham is going to challenge the Nature Boy Ric Flair for the world title. And Dave Meltzer would say it's the best hour of television he'd ever seen in American wrestling. So people were talking about Barry Windham, you know, in the next calendar year as if he might be the absolute best wrestler in the world. And here he is in a tag match with, respectfully, the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff. There's so much talent and so much opportunity in front of these guys. And I know for the Iron Sheik, I mean, at this point, he's on the downhill slope, but that is not the case for his opponents here.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if I'm correct, the very first ever Saturday night's main event and the first match had Windham and Rotunda in it, right?
Man, that's a great little trivia question.
I think they did.
Do you want to guess how old the Iron Sheik is in this match here?
He would be like 45.
He had just turned 43.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Funny guy, man. Absolute funny guy.
I'm just saying, I think we all think of him as like on the downhill slope at this point. I mean, I just said that.
Right.
I think next week, John Cena will turn 48. He's 5 years older than the Iron Sheik is even.
Wow. How about that?
People just age differently now.
Yeah, they do. Well, it's a different era. There are so many things that you can do, so many health regimens that you can go through now, so many workout programs that you can go through to look younger, feel younger, and stay younger. And then you go out and get hit by a car, and it's all over with.
Without looking, I would have assumed that Nikolai Volkoff was actually older than the Iron Sheik. He's only 38 here.
Wow.
Wild. I know everybody online makes fun of it, but it's just wild for me to think that Nikolai Volkoff here is actually younger than Cody Rhodes is now. Like, what? Make that make sense.
You're right. That's crazy. Holy smokes.
Hey, speaking of crazy, we're talking about, how much better things were in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you ever have a pen pal in the 80s? Did you ever have a friend that was strictly your in the mailbox friend? I know these days, like when I was coming up, people had like chat room friends. And I guess the generation after me, they had like gaming friends. So they put the headsets on and they make friends and have long conversations with people in far corners of the world. And now, because of things like this podcast, I mean, look at how many of our friends are in the group chat tonight. But way back when, the pen pal thing, that was something I heard about. And I remember seeing people talk about on like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse and things, but I never had a pen pal. You didn't either?
No, not at all.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but one of your coworkers, he was looking for pen pals once. Let's take a look. Old Peter Sinertia.
Yes.
Enjoys bowling. Bruno Sammartino is his favorite. He likes the good guys, and he's looking for pen pals. And when I saw that photo, I mean,
At 9 years
definitely
old.
thought about putting a black towel on my head. But I also thought, was his girlfriend Winnie Cooper? Because Fred Savage as a kid and Taz as a kid, that's like doppelganger shit right there.
My God. My God.
Brother, Winnie Cooper was a smoke show.
That's something else, man.
I mean, it looks just like him to me.
Oh, God.
Brother.
Okay, just for everybody who's watching here and for
Yep.
everybody who is listening and for everybody who has joined us with comments, this was brought up by Conrad Thompson, not by me.
Wait a minute. I didn't write in
Mm-hmm.
to a dirt sheet to 411 fuck sheet illustrated
Yeah.
in the 80s
No,
and
but
send my picture.
okay, but you're the one that had this picture of Taz put up
No,
here.
Dave Silva posted his home address, which is
Okay.
103-27 Woodhaven Boulevard, Ozone Park, New York.
He doesn't live there now, I don't think.
You don't know that. Just send the mail there and see what happens.
Okay, so I had nothing to do with this at all.
Dear brother, I like the color orange.
Yeah, I'm not going with this. See, you guys don't have to deal with him every week. I do. Okay. So
You know, can you imagine for a minute? Let's throw that picture back up there.
no, let's not.
I'm gonna bust you up so bad, Sabu. I'm gonna dump you on your fucking head, Sabu. Can you imagine that's this guy? How awesome is that?
That is awesome.
Oh God, you're really tucking it here, aren't you?
Yeah.
What's the deal? Are we gonna get in trouble for that?
No, not at all.
Well, listen, if we're gonna do it, let's just throw it back up there with Fred. Fuck it, I'm in trouble now. You telling me they're not related?
Oh, yeah, they were.
They don't go to the reunions together. Those kids didn't play rock, paper, scissors together. Come on,
Oh,
man.
Jesus Christ.
It's Fred Savage.
Yeah. See, you can do this and you go, ha, 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 and then you don't see him.
That's correct.
Yeah. But
That's
I
correct.
do see him.
Well, hey, speaking of seeing, I don't know that I told you this, but my wife's gone to bed now, so I can tell this story. Last week, I think it was Monday night.
Yeah.
Or maybe was it Monday night? I think it was Monday night.
Okay.
And you couldn't record, so I wound up
Yeah,
just having some free time.
I was not doing well. Yeah.
So as Megan was going to go to bed, I was going to go put my fancy dancy Turtle Beach headset on and beat up Matt Kuhn and NBA 2K, which is a favorite pastime of mine. He's terrible. I beat him every time. It's great.
Okay.
And my wife lets the dogs out the front door, and we have the bells on the front door, so they'll alert when they need to go take a one or a two. So I hear the bells, and then I hear her say, "Conrad," and I say, "Yeah." And she says, "Hey, there's a bird in the house." And I said, "Okay." And she's like, "Well, what are we going to do?" And I said, "Nothing. Just go to bed. Shut the door." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Shut the door to the bedroom and go to bed. Don't worry about it." And she's like, "It's upstairs." "Yeah, it's fine. Go to bed." "Well, what are we going to do about it?" "Just go to bed. I'll take care of it. There's nothing to do. You don't do anything." "No, we got to do something." We just saw a title change. Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff are the new tag champs.
Wow. Right in the middle of bird talk.
So she says, "Well, if you don't want to deal with it, I will," or something like that.
Okay.
So I hear her going up the stairs, and I yell. I said, "Megan, you don't have any tools or anything." She goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, you don't have like a fucking net. Not that you would even use that. That's not how you get a bird out of your house." And so she goes, "Well, I'm going to get him out. I can't go to bed with a bird in the house." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "You and the girls go to the bedroom, shut the door. It's fine. I'll take care of it." And she refused. So she goes upstairs, and I swear to God, my lovely bride has more degrees than the thermostat, owns multiple businesses, multiple rental properties, just an accomplished individual, a smart human being.
Yeah.
And I hear, as I'm about to put my headset on,
It's amazing all that. And Ric Flair's her dad. But go ahead.
Here, birdie, birdie, birdie.
Are you serious?
And I start laughing, and I
Okay.
go out there and get to the bottom of the stairs. And I said, Megan, come downstairs and go to bed and shut the fucking door. I'll take care of it. And she's like, the bird. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll take care of it. And so she's like, well, what are we supposed to do? I said, honey, here's what we're going to do. You're going to go to bed. You're going to shut the door. I'm going to open the doors up as wide as they go, and the bird will fly out. And she's like, well, we need to stay in here until he does. And I go, the bird is scared to death of you and these two fucking dogs that are much bigger than it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to work. Go away. I'll
Mhm.
turn the lights off and open the doors, and the bird will fly out. And she wouldn't have it. So the next morning, she gets up and leaves. I'm trying to sleep. She goes to work out at like 4 a.m. So I'm trying to sleep, but this goddamn bird's awake. And he's on top of the chandelier in the formal living room, 22 feet in the air,
Mhm.
squawking his ass off. And I realize it's because the bird's nest is on the reef in my front door. He's built a reef, and so whatever the fuck. So the eggs are in there, and so that's why it's making all this noise. So I open both of the doors up and turn off all the lights and leave the room. And in 20 minutes, the goddamn bird's gone and everybody lives happily ever after. But my genius wife is upstairs roaming around spare bedrooms. Here, birdie, birdie. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, some people believe that a bird in the house is bad luck. Have you heard that before?
No.
Yeah. I remember I was thinking when I was growing up and a bird got in our house, and my mom my mom was really old school. She was born in 1916. She grew up during the Depression. She had a real tough life, and the bird came in the house one day. She said, oh my God. I mean, she freaked out. So we've got to get that bird out of the house right now. I'm going, why? Because it's bad luck, and we do not leave bad luck on this family. And I said, where did you get that from? She said, it's common knowledge. Everybody knows that. So I didn't know that when you were telling the story that Megan thought it was bad luck too, and she wanted to get the bird out of the house quickly.
Oh no, she just thought, oh, they're gonna hurt the bird's gonna hurt the dogs, or the dog's gonna hurt the birds. And I'm like, they're both scared of the other thing. We don't have like a German Shepherd. We got a goddamn teacup poodle that you can fit in your hand.
Right.
Like that. My dogs don't even know how to bite things. They're just spoiled little lap dogs. They're not predators. But anyway, I just Googled it. While some cultures believe a bird flying into the house is a sign of bad luck or even death, others view it as a sign of good luck or an important message, aka nobody knows shit.
That's true. That's true.
But here's what we know. Prize Picks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win $2,000 extra cash. Run your game all season long with Prize Picks and cash in on these basketball playoffs with Prize Picks right now. Don't miss your chance to add to your favorite players from the court on your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's points or rebounds or assists, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000x your cash today. Turn your playoff hot takes into tickets this basketball championship series, starting with the play-in round. Every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you in the Takes Two ticket sweepstakes, which could get you and a +1 a VIP trip to the ship. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. So join millions of users and sign up today. By the way, I want to mention that today is Flex Friday. If you're going to be playing this Friday, Flex Friday is your way to do it. And every Tuesday, they've even got discounts on several projections, going from like 15 to even 25%. I've had a lot of fun with Prize Picks. I know you will too, especially right here during the NBA playoffs. I'm going to be taking down Luka Doncic for some points, and I'm going to be working with Anthony Edwards on some points. I'm going under with Luka, over with Anthony Edwards. Send me your hate tweets. I'm ready for them. Everybody's got an opinion, and man, it just makes it so much more fun. Go download the app today. Download the Prize Picks app today and use our code WHW to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WHW to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
All right.
So we've seen now the Andre the Giant match is about to happen. Big John Studd is already in the ring. He's got an old school WWF duffel bag filled with cash.
That's
Bobby
the slam,
Slam,
right?
That's right. This is the $15,000 slam challenge, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever meet Big John Studd?
Never did. No.
The idea here is Andre the Giant, believe it or not, has put his career on the line. So if he loses, he is no longer a professional wrestler. But if he wins $15,000.
I heard that Big John Studd was truly one of the nicest guys ever in wrestling. Everybody who's ever worked with him.
Except maybe Andre the Giant.
Except maybe Andre the Giant.
We're having some conversation in the group chat here.
Yeah.
Darren Staley says he's heard that a bird flying in the window means death in the house, and his grandma's told him that.
Yep.
And Jason Taylor says, did your grandma have floor to ceiling windows? I have a bird flying to my windows at least once a year, and nobody in my family has died. Actually, I've got like a bird graveyard behind my house here on the lake. I've had, I'm not kidding, in the year I've been here, 8 birds check out, just hauling ass right into the glass.
Wow.
So you go out there and you're like, oh, dogs, leave that alone. I mean, I've never heard one hit. I mean, I guess I have, but when I go out there, I don't see it. But there's been others that I didn't hear hit, and they go. Coach Keith says, I'd rather have a bird in the house than a bat. I had one in the house last year, and it took a freaking hour to get it out of the house. Tony would have raised it and called it Alfred and given it a special phone.
Absolutely.
A special signal, the whole thing. Darren Staley says, my grandma also used to say, when the sun is shining and it's raining, it means the devil is beating his wife. I've heard that one. Have you heard that one?
Oh, yeah. My mom said that all the time.
I mean, here's my thing on that. If the devil can get married, I got a lot of single friends where it's like, next time the sun's shining and it's raining, I'm going to be like, hey, bro, even the devil has a wife. You need to up your game. You got to start closing.
Okay, so the idea of this match here is to slam him, or it's a match, and if he can also slam him, he'll win the $15,000.
If Andre loses, he loses his career.
Seriously.
And if Andre, well, it's not a shoot match, bud.
Well, I know it's not a shoot match, but I was asking you, these are the stipulations for this match?
Yes, career versus $15,000. It's a body slam challenge. So you're trying to body slam the other fellow.
Okay.
And if Andre body slams Big John Studd, he gets $15,000. And if Big John Studd body slams Andre the Giant, he has to retire.
Gotcha. Body slam competition, kind of.
I don't know, bud. It's an Andre the Giant match. It ain't going to be very good, but at least it'll be less than 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Coach Rosie has a question. He says, after that $400,000 tag match, Kevin Knight said he was going to Magic City. Would you go with him?
Yeah. I'd go to Magic City again.
What's your favorite experience at Magic City?
No, we're talking about Magic Castle. I was thinking Magic Castle.
Magic City is a different thing.
Apparently so. I don't know what Magic City is.
Really?
I don't.
Okay.
I know what Magic Castle is because I've been there, but you got to know somebody to get in it, in the Magic Castle. Okay.
Well, I know somebody who can get you into Magic Castle, but you've been there.
Yes.
Magic City is it's right down the road from you, Tony.
Okay.
You just need to hit an ATM.
Oh, it's a strip club, I bet.
Well, that's real trashy phrasing.
Well, yeah, there you go.
It's a gentleman's club.
It's a gentleman's club, right?
And I know you love their sandwiches.
Does DJ Turn Up work at that one?
No.
Okay.
Jim in Buffalo says, we built the sunroom edition on the house a few years ago. Now we get birds flying into the glass pretty regularly.
Oh.
Well, I'd be careful because if one of them fly in, Tony said your whole family's going to die. So just need to know that now.
Hey, you know what? I'm telling you right now, you say a bear hug is not worth a damn, but if Andre the Giant's got you in a freaking bear hug, that's going to have to hurt.
Yeah. You know what? Put it right next to the Kevin Von Erich claw for me. Same thing.
I think it's got to hurt. I think if the guy has massive forearm strength, like, the big forearms like Popeye, and these big biceps like I've got, and can go and pull up.
You think this is entertaining what we're watching right now?
On the back of the ribs, I think it's got to really hurt.
I want you to encourage John Moxley to do a bear hug spot and just hold it through a commercial break this Wednesday.
Okay.
If you can sell that, the internet will just rejoice.
Okay. The internet will rejoice.
Oh man, because everybody loves nostalgia, Tony. And I mean, if you say that's an Andre the Giant bear hug, we'll be back after these messages. Folks, we're back. And if you hung on through that Reese's commercial, you're doing better than old so-and-so is. Adam is with us, and he says, Tony, did you ever give Conrad your Ric Flair penis trophy so he can give it to Megan? I don't know why he wants you to give me a penis trophy.
Well, that's Adam DeMoy because he has, I don't even know why we would acknowledge anything that he says on here. But I'm going to tell you what I did with the Ric Flair penis trophy. Okay. You know the story behind this, right? I mean,
I need you to tell everybody listening.
Okay. The story behind this was we were going to have the Ric Flair roast, right? And Ric Flair didn't show up for it. So I got this penis trophy and I was going to give it to him, make up some sort of story and give it to him. And when he didn't show up, I was so pissed off he didn't show up that I threw it away.
You threw a perfectly good penis away?
Threw it, put it in the trash can.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Adam DeMoy. And let's not acknowledge him again on this show.
Real question, why would anyone suggest, hey man, did you give that penis trophy to his daughter? Like, if we had a mold of your hog, and I realize it wouldn't take up much space, but let's just pretend we had an exact copy made. I think the last person I would think we should give it to would be Lori.
Right.
Like, to me, it's like, she doesn't need that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just some people run out of things to say. And obviously Adam did before all of us. Come on, body slam him here. Body slam him. Let's go.
There it is. That son of a bitch went down. Andre the Giant has won. There's the bell. And now he wants the money.
You're way ahead of me. Okay, there we go. He wants the money. And Bobby Heenan's got the bag of money. Look how small that bag looks in Andre's hands. Andre, go take it. Is he go throw it out to the fans? Yes, he is.
Yambag Jones says, man, that was not great. Respectfully, and I mean this with all due respect.
Yeah.
Yambag Jones, you've never seen a good Andre the Giant match in the WWF because they didn't exist.
It wasn't about the match. It was about the spectacle of Andre the Giant. We all know that, right?
I'm not arguing that, but I guess my question is, why can't we treat Satnam Singh the same way?
I don't have an answer for that. Wish I did.
I mean, he's bigger. Satnam Singh is bigger than Andre the Giant.
Right.
So let's just do that for him. Chris North says, did Tony ever get that left bicep ink before or after his trip to Claire's? So your tattoo.
It's tattoo of my dog Bug. The tattoo was put on here before he died. And then after he passed away, Conrad came up with an idea of this, which is my hand reaching out to Bugs going up to Paul going up to heaven. That's is actually Bugs' actual paw print. And then the artist came and put 2010 to 2024 on here.
Can you show us your lowest tattoo?
Yeah, I don't have a lowest tattoo. Yeah. So I'm thinking about getting another tattoo.
What really? Why? What?
Yeah.
What for? Oh,
Okay.
Kirby.
No, not Kirby. I got the Superman tattoo here. Is that?
Oh, Chris Hero's jealous.
I'm thinking about getting a Batman tattoo here, but I'm also thinking about getting like all the other dogs, because I got 5 dogs here, and maybe getting them put on the calf muscle here, because I got a damn good looking calf muscle for an old man.
Can we see that?
No,
Why not?
because I'm not going to stand on my fucking head for this podcast. Okay.
Well, you got to get hot about it. God damn. Just trying to make conversation. What the fuck? Are you familiar with Tupac's Thug Life tattoo?
No.
Well, he had a tattoo on his stomach
Okay.
that said Thug Life, and I'll get Dave Silva to pull it up here, but I think you should get one, like a Tupac inspired tattoo.
Yeah.
But instead of it saying Thug Life, I know you don't have any pugs, so you can't say Pug Life, but you could certainly say Dog Life.
Yeah.
And I think you could get that on your stomach. That
Yeah.
would hit.
I think that the Moolah just kissed Lord Alfred. I think that no, I don't think I would want a tattoo on my stomach. I think that would hurt. The tattoo on your arms are annoying when you get a tattoo, but they don't really hurt. I think the stomach would hurt.
Hey, they're coming up with it in the group chat. Instead of Thug Life, you should get the tattoo over your stomach that says Bug Life.
Well, that was the shirt we sold, remember?
Yes.
We raised money for Angels Among Us Pet Rescue. It says, and I got a bunch of shirts that say Bug Life. So,
I mean, I think that would work.
yeah. No, I'm not getting a tattoo on my belly.
What about your taint?
No.
By the way, Leilani, Kai, and Lois. Has anybody ever seen them in the same place at the same time?
Not at all.
By the way, Leilani Kai from the right angle in this era, 1985, I feel like she could be like Rebel's aunt.
You know what? That's a hell of a call. That is a hell of a call. Looks like Rebel's distant family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, are you saying that you won't even consider this as a Bug Life tattoo?
I will not.
I mean, I think that would work.
Well, I don't have a 6-pack like that.
Well, okay, here's what we'll do. We're going to sell a shirt that's got it down there.
Mm-hmm.
Bug Life.
No, but I'm looking forward to seeing this match because I want to see Wendy Richter. And, one of the things about the 80s was Hulk Hogan Rockin' Wrestling, the cartoon, right?
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Remember that? Absolutely. And Wendy Richter was part of it. Who else? Was Junkyard Dog was a part of that cartoon. Wow.
This is our co-main event. This is the women's championship, and this will be the last match before Hulk Hogan's match. So the rest of this time, a lot of time allocated for the main event and some of the pomp and circumstance. Where you at on Cyndi Lauper? Can you believe she's not already in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Oh my God! Is she? If the celebrity wing, shouldn't she have been one of the first ones in?
As I understand it, she's been invited and is just
Didn't want to do it.
passed on the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, one of her great songs was "Goonies Are Good Enough," right? And for the Goonies movie, and if you've seen the music video, it has a lot of wrestlers in it. It's all wrestling based. And even girls just want to have fun. I believe that they even have wrestlers in it as well.
That's right.
So she certainly did use the wrestlers, and she's hey, the Goonies, one of the great 80s movies, and I think it was like 85 when it came out.
What's your Mount Rushmore of 1980s movies, Tony?
Breakfast Club.
Oh,
let's see, Pretty in Pink.
Oh my God.
Which was Such a bad movie, but so well done. Lou Albano, good call, Dave McClay. Let's see who else. What else would be in the 80s movies? Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is the correct answer I was looking for.
Okay. Let's see. 16 Candles is another good one.
Oh, these are all Hughes movies here.
Yeah. Well, that was, I mean, wasn't that it? Wasn't the Hughes movies, wasn't that the 80s, right?
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
arguing that it wasn't successful.
Chris North says, I love Molly Ringwald. I certainly did. She was great. Let's see what else in the 80s was in 80s movies. Predator. That's from Adam DeMoy, who finally came up with a good comment.
What about some Indiana Jones shit?
Indiana Jones, Ghostbusters.
I can see that.
Yeah. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. There's another good one. Good call, Coach Keith.
RoboCop is pretty 80s.
Yeah, but yeah.
Top Gun's pretty 80s.
WCW spoiled that for me. Batman. Yeah, the original Bat was 1989 for that Batman.
That's Field of Dreams. That's 80s.
Yeah. Field of Dreams. See, the best movies, the best music by far. But
Coming to America hit for me.
Yeah, but there's something about Breakfast Club that I just really, really like. I don't know what it was.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah. Risky Business. Dave McClay said Howard the Duck. Good job, Dave McClay. I don't know anybody else would say that. But
Scarface.
There were some entertaining things. Die Hard. Some entertaining things about Howard the Duck.
I don't think so. I think it was all that Leah, whatever her name is, Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
Karate Kid, Batman.
Yeah. Was Spaceballs the 80s movies? I think it may have been.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Coach Rosie wants to know, with all your appearances on the Turner Networks, do you think you have more appearances than Braves legend Skip Carey?
No. Doubt it.
He's probably got the most, right?
Yeah. Probably so.
Darren Staley wants to know, has Tony ever ate tuna in his macaroni? You ever had some tuna helper like that? Tuna casserole, I think they call it.
No.
Not your jam?
And that's not my jam. I like tuna salad.
Oh, I love tuna salad.
But heated up tuna to me was like, bleh.
What about tuna steaks? Your idol tuna steaks?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty cool on that. Yeah.
I like that.
Seared tuna steaks.
The best.
Yeah.
Darren Staley wants to know if you'll play F, Marry, Kill with Mr. Rogers, Captain Kangaroo, and Big Bird.
No, I won't.
Well, I will. I'd kill Captain Kangaroo.
Uh-huh.
I'd marry Mr. Rogers.
Mm-hmm. And you'd have sex with Big Bird.
I mean, we already read a story about a guy in Alabama banging out chickens. So I'm just saying, if, like, when you're with your guys and you're at the bar and everybody opens a few and, hey, man, I remember I had this girl back in college. So everybody does that every now and again. Stupid guy talk. They shouldn't, but whatever. Yeah. But I can go, hey, the word of the day is Big Bird.
We've got some more good movies. Rambo: First Blood. That's another great movie. But that was big time good movie. Red Dawn, Dirty Dancing, and Dave McClay wants to know best bad movie. I think that would be Masters of the Universe. Don't you?
Man, I wanted to love that as a kid, but it was not that great.
It was not that great of a movie. No.
Speaking of not that great, if you've been trying to advertise your business online and the results have been not that great, can I recommend Envision Marketing Consultants?
Yes, you can.
When I started first advertising, I bought a lot of radio and TV and I did billboard. And then I realized, wait a minute, I'm missing all the internet advertising. And this was way back in 2010. So I called my radio station and my TV station, and they started selling me schedules. They had these great ideas, and they filled my orders, and they took my money, and then I never got any leads. But that's kind of on me. I didn't really understand what I was buying. I didn't really understand the space. I just knew I needed leads. That didn't really make sense to anybody until I met Eric Nichols. Eric Nichols is the guy who taught me about the space. He taught me more about what I was buying, and my leads went up. My understanding went up. And more importantly, my cost per lead went down. And listen, if you're a small business owner and you're trying to grow your business, it can be overwhelming keeping up with the algorithm. What the hell does that even mean? We hear there's one for Facebook and one for Instagram and one for YouTube and one for Google. And how do you keep up with all that and run your business? Well, my cheat code was calling Eric Nichols. I feel so strongly about what these guys at Envision Marketing are doing. I'm actually loaning them my domain. It's conradsguy.com. If you go right now to conradsguy.com, that'll point you right to Envision Marketing. And I'm talking to you if you're looking to do SEO, pay per click, targeted display, or maybe you just want ads on streaming video like Hulu or YouTube or even Amazon. If you're doing any of that or want to do any of that, you need to go to conradsguy.com right now. Let my buddy Eric take a look. These guys have decades of experience. And most importantly, I trust they're staying on top of the technology and the algorithms, and they're optimizing my campaign so I don't have to worry about it. They can help you too if you're in B2B or retail or food and beverage or manufacturing or nonprofits. Hell, they did it with me in mortgages. And what's maybe best of all about working with Eric, if he and his team can't help you in your company and they think you're on the right track, they'll just tell you that too. Trust me, it's worth a little bit of time it will take. And if they can do half as good for you as they have for me, you'll see why I tell everybody I got a guy. Call my guy. It's conradsguy.com. That's how you get a hold of Eric Nichols and Envision Marketing. Let Eric and his team get your digital marketing on track at conradsguy.com. Envision Marketing Consultants, where smart but simple marketing drives results.
You know what, Conrad? These two ladies are working pretty hard here.
I mean, for 1985,
yes,
you know, we would eventually see women's wrestling in WCW that was arguably not even as good as this.
Right.
And they're doing it right here. I mean, Leilani Kai was a talented in-ring performer. I think everybody agrees Wendy Richter left way too soon.
Yep.
She could have been a much bigger star. I guess the idea is she didn't feel like she was being paid fairly, especially when she sees what guys like Hulk Hogan were making. And I get that. I don't know that she was necessarily big box office, but certainly she stood up for what she believed in. And well, I guess as a result, her career was cut short. But in an alternate universe, man, Wendy Richter was ahead of her time, was she not?
Oh, she was great. She looked great. And this match here, Moolah got involved. It was really cool the way she got involved. And now the fans are standing up as Leilani Kai goes off with a crossbody. Good shit. Look at this. Rolls her over. 1, 2, and 3. Going to beat her. How about that?
Sadly, her WWF career is going to end just a few months after this. They're going to double cross her. The fabulous Moolah is going to get under her hood, call herself the Spider Lady. We've all heard about the Montreal screw job. Well, here was one in Madison Square Garden right around Thanksgiving. It was November 25th, 1985.
Okay.
That lady crawling around with the sequin jacket. She's the lady doing Vince's bidding. And that's it for her in the WWF. She'd pop up a little bit here and there in Ohio, and then later do some work with the AWA. But kind of bring it to a close in 1989. She takes all of 1990 off, pops up for a few little spot shows here and there in 91 and 93 and 96. But I guess her last match now was 20 years ago. It was George South Jr., the Patriot, and Wendy Richter taking on Amy Love, DC Drake, and Gary Royal at the Wrestle Reunion 2 in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. But in an alternate universe, man, she would have been a much bigger star and a household name. She wasn't going to put up with Vince's bullshit anymore.
So tell me about that. I'm unfamiliar. I think we're all familiar with quote unquote the Montreal screw job. Tell us about the Moolah screw job. What happened there?
Moolah went out there and held her down, and the ref counted 3. They took the belt off her. That was it. She went to the back, got her bag, left the building, and never spoke to anybody there again.
So she didn't know she was going to do the job.
If she didn't want to do the job was done for her.
Wow. How about that?
The Spider Lady, which, by the way, is Lois's nickname on the Facebook groups.
Would not surprise me.
Spider Lady.
Spider Lady.
Now it's time for our main event. There's 35 minutes left as we're seeing some replays here of the ladies in slow motion. They're going to go 13 minutes and 34 seconds in this main event. But, of course, we've got some pomp and circumstance before we get there.
Right.
This show was an afternoon show.
Right.
Actually, you and I have not talked about this at all. But I've recently decided I think it would be awesome, and I know I'm in the minority here, But I think AEW should run Saturday or Sunday afternoon pay-per-views, but run afternoon shows. What do you make of that?
Well, I think we're going to have one coming up, aren't we?
Yes. To be
Right.
clear, every All-In that AEW has been in the afternoon.
Right.
Now, I know when you guys were in London, certainly running Wembley, that was an evening show there. But here in America, it aired on pay-per-view in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the idea of the show's not going until midnight or staying up late when a lot of people have school or work the next day. It feels like it's easier for moms and dads to get in and out of the building and get people home. But even just from staying up late at a pay-per-view, I think that makes a lot of sense to me. And I know that this show we're watching here, this very first WrestleMania, it was a Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the lipstick on Cyndi Lauper's teeth. That's
I
funny.
know. Yeah, she's a goof.
She's having fun with it.
Yeah. Well, girls just want to have fun.
Oh, goddamn.
Thank you. Well, I'm for it. I like afternoon shows. The NFL on Sundays have afternoons, right? They do big numbers.
Yeah, I mean, this show right here, it's crazy to think. I think most people are just conditioned to WrestleMania being an evening thing. But I think this show started at like 1 p.m.
Yeah, you're probably right. And you know what? Madison Square Garden was also used to running afternoon shows for the WWE back then. Because the first one that I worked was a 1 o'clock show at Madison Square Garden. So they did afternoon shows back then. So now the pomp and circumstance. So now
Here goes Billy Robinson. Now, listen, there's some people.
Billy Martin.
Sorry, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody about Billy Martin and his baseball connection. I know that some of our listeners aren't really baseball guys.
Legendary Yankees manager, was and played second base for the Yankees for a long, long time. He was hired and fired by George Steinbrenner many, many times, and had some great runs with the Yankees, not only as a player but as a manager. Unfortunately, died in a single car crash on Christmas Day.
While you were up there in 1989,
89, and it was I mean, that's part of my fandom too, because I was and then he went and was the Oakland A's manager, I believe, in 1980, and
80 to 82.
Yeah, and led the A's to the playoffs as well. He was a fiery manager. Maybe people remember for the time that he and Reggie Jackson at Fenway Park got into an argument after it looked like Reggie didn't hustle after a baseball, and he didn't take any bullshit. So that's why in New York City, and I believe they even had his funeral in New York City, that Billy Martin was brought in as a special ring announcer for this. Oh.
And not to be that guy, but I've always been under the impression that Billy Martin's death was a result of alcohol.
I think that's what it's either known or they assumed. I don't know. But
well, we're assuming that that is Liberace out there with the Rockettes.
Uh-huh. Now this is some shit right here, guys. And they're going to do a little dance, right?
Yeah, Liberace is going to be the special guest timekeeper.
Uh-huh.
Billy Martin is the special guest ring announcer.
Right.
And the special guest ring enforcer / referee is Muhammad Ali.
Right.
The actual referee will wind up being Pat Patterson. Now, as the story is told, this was Muhammad Ali advertised to be the referee in the main event. But when they got there, they realized, he can't really do this. So we'll just have Pat sort of help him out.
Okay, good.
We've buried the lead here as we're talking a little bit before this main event gets kicked off. You had a pretty interesting weekend.
Okay.
FTR nearly gave you a pile driver on
How about that?
A spike pile driver.
Yeah.
And Nigel McGuinness, here I come to save the day.
And gave me shit too, buddy. Oh, my God.
Do you want to tell us all about how terrible and what a bunch of nothing happening SOBs FTR are?
Well, I Yeah, Dax and Cash are self-absorbed pricks.
Turds.
And they are worrying more about themselves than they are their friends, people that have helped them. I like to think that I helped their career by calling their matches and making them seem bigger than life because they have been. And I really love the fact that when they came into wrestling to AEW, they wanted to bring tag team wrestling back to what it was by holding the ropes, right?
Yeah.
Tag team ropes and make it great tag team wrestling. And I thought they did. And then I went ahead and gave my opinion on Wednesday. Then they called me in the ring on Saturday, and Nigel said, "Don't go into the ring." And so, you know what? Here's my thought about going to the ring. What is it going to do for them as wrestlers to beat up a 67-year-old fat ass announcer? Right? For crying out loud. So I thought for sure I was, is that Joe Frazier there too? I thought for sure that I was going to be safe, but they decided to, try to do the stuff pile driver on me, knowing that my back and neck is very weak. And there's for a moment they were thinking, well, I'm a dead man. But then again, here comes Nigel McGuinness, who by the way, is not only a great announcer. He was, I think most of you know, he was named announcer of the year, I think by Meltzer, but Meltzer's followers. But he and I are also very good friends. So he took care of me, and I'll never be able to repay him enough for that. So there. And who knows what's going to happen? Who knows they're going to try to attack me? But I can tell you this: they can both kiss my ass.
Wow.
I'll never. I used to text Dax and tell him how great his matches were, and he said, "I really appreciate it." And text Cash and tell him how much is now, and they did so much good for Western North Carolina and the floods that happened. Remember during the hurricanes, and to see two guys just let their egos control everything they do, just blows me away.
Hey Tony, I got an idea. What if
What's that?
Yeah, it's not too late. Yeah, no, I'm taping a podcast with Schiavone, but we were just freestyling here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still do it. Yeah, I know. I can't believe he's still doing it either. He's quit like 6 times in the last year.
Keep it over 7. Okay.
What I was thinking is, this is actually a suggestion from the group chat here tonight with our live studio audience. And the suggestion was, what if we had Nigel team up with Tony Schiavone, much like Hulk Hogan teamed with Mean Gene Okerlund once? We could just recreate those vignettes with Nigel training and trying to get Tony in shape. He's already told us he's got him lifted weights. He's taking us to the gun show. What if we put Nigel and Schiavone in the ring against FTR at All In? I know it's the first stadium show, and I think that's box office. Oh,
Did he hang up on you?
He hung up. I don't think he liked that idea.
Good.
That's a solid idea.
Yeah, it's a shitty idea. Hey, so we got Piper coming to the ring arrogantly with the bagpipes, and
they brought out a whole Scottish band, and look at all the media surrounding the ring. Like, they're all leaning on the apron, and here comes Eye of the Tiger, and the place is going bananas. You can just see from the reaction, they must be playing his theme song. So to remind you, though, there's Vince McMahon in the background.
Give us a time code here. Well, you're a different time code, aren't you?
I am indeed, but I'm watching Hulk Hogan come through the backstage areas. Yep. He's walking through what I guess is known as Gorilla.
For all you people who are with us on Peacock, I'm at 1:50:44, 45, 46. Hogan and Mr. T just turned their back to the cameras.
What an incredible moment this is. You can probably feel the electricity in the air, all this anticipation. They've done so much media. They were just on Saturday Night Live the night before. They've been on magazine covers. They've done every sort of talk show and television show and radio interview. And Vince McMahon has pledged it all. He's borrowed from Peter to pay Paul and taken out loans and over-leveraged himself, where if this is successful, the WWF is in the stratosphere. And if they're not, well,
It's
I don't know
over.
what the top wrestling promotion in the world looks like, but I know it ain't the WWF. I suppose it's back to the NWA.
Right.
So here's what he did. He took his former top drawing babyface, Superfly Snuka,
Mm-hmm.
put him in the corner with one of the top acts in Hollywood. And I know that some people forget what a big piece of Americana and pop culture Mr. T was, but he was more than just on A Team. I mean, he was the other side of Rocky Balboa in Rocky 3. So it's a big opportunity, and they're teaming together against Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful, and to sort of offset Jimmy Snuka, there's Bob Orton Jr. with a cast on his arm in their corner. But you've also got Madison Square Garden. You know, this is a building that's not just synonymous with major wrestling moments, but major boxing moments.
Yep.
Some of the biggest fights in Muhammad Ali's career were right here.
Ali
when you
Frazier
have
won. Yep.
the Yankees and the Rockettes, and I mean, there he is, Liberace, but goodness gracious, Muhammad Ali and Hulk Hogan. That's about as big as it gets from a pop culture standpoint for 1985. Really interesting to think about. If this wouldn't have worked, what opportunity that represents for Jim Crockett Promotions, because I know we've talked about it a lot on this podcast in particular, but in a weird way, this is one of the greatest contributions that the Crockett family ever had for professional wrestling. Because had they not bought back the time slot from Vince McMahon for $1 million, Vince may have come up short for this thing. Now, of course, Jim Crockett Jr. didn't know that at the time. But in an alternate universe, what if he'd have said no? Would it have still worked? Would they have still pulled the money together? Could Vince have pulled this event off? But Jim went down to his local bank, showed their business history, got that $1 million loan, secured the TBS time slot for his own promotion, and sent that $1 million check to Vince McMahon. And this is what Vince spent it on.
Wow.
All those closed circuit locations. And remember now, he's basically borrowing Dusty's idea for the big event and doing closed circuit. And he's doing it with a fellow in the main event who was on that Starrcade show. Of course, famously, Greg the Hammer Valentine had a dog collar match against Roddy Piper at that Starrcade. Both of those guys
are on
in
the
the show.
Yeah.
It's wild to think about.
It's a great point. And when you think about a Crockett getting the money to get on TBS, that went into helping fund WrestleMania 1, or WrestleMania at that time, and what it's become since then. There's another thing you got to think about too, and I think wrestling promoters often thought about this, and I know that was something that we had thought about. I don't know if it's when I say we, I'm not necessarily saying the Crockett family. Maybe when you're in your talks with David in the book that he brings this up, I think everybody thought that Vince McMahon and the WWF had an advantage of being in the New York market because it was the biggest media market in the world.
No doubt.
And anything that you did in New York would have been bigger than anything you could have done in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I think that had a lot I don't know how much it had to do with it, but I think that had something to do with it, being in New York City. Because back in the day, you had the Carolinas, Florida, and they had the territory that was called New York. This was called the New York Territory, the WWF. So this was the big time. And Vince McMahon Jr. made it bigger than life. And look, decades later, 40 years later, what the WWE has become. A global phenomenon. If I don't know if that's the right term or not, but a global powerhouse in entertainment. And it all started on this day, didn't it? This is the day it started. It's a great story. It really, really is.
If you're curious, there are a handful of people who were on both shows. We mentioned Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine, Ricky Steamboat and Bob Orton Jr. round out the fearsome foursome who were on the very first Starrcade and the very first WrestleMania. And I've heard this story. I don't know if this is true or not. Of course, Mr. Orndroff is not with us, so I can't confirm this. But the story I've heard is Vince went to everyone involved in this main event. Of course, he had to guarantee Mr. T as a celebrity exactly what he was going to make. But as the story goes, he went to Hulk Hogan, he went to Paul Orndorff, he went to Bob Orton Jr., he went to Jimmy Snuka, and he went to Roddy Piper. And he said, guys, I've laid it all on the line here. I've mortgaged my house and everything else to bet on this. And I need this to work. Got all these closed circuit locations that I've got the added expenses for, the pay-per-view time, the satellite time, the marketing expenses. It's just a gigantic undertaking. I need you to trust me and be my partner. And when all those revenues come in, I'll take care of you, and it'll be your biggest payday you've ever made in wrestling. And everybody went for that except Paul Orndorff, who said, nope, I'll just take my fee. And as the story goes, he got his payoff, and it paled in comparison to what everyone else got. But he was old school.
Right.
And guys like Dusty Rhodes, trained Diamond Dallas Page and Glacier and even his son Dustin. Hey, we get our money up front. We get paid before we do anything. I get that. In wrestling, sometimes you got a CYA, and that is a best practice. But Orndorff did that to Vince, and I don't know the number for sure, but the number I've been floated was that he made somewhere around $12,000 for the match, which, don't get me wrong, it's a good payday.
Good payday.
Especially in 1985.
Right.
Let's see what that looks like in $2025. Do you have a guess what $12,500 in today's dollar might look like?
$57,000.
That's actually a solid guess, but it's $37,000.
Okay, that's still pretty damn good.
13-minute match, 37 grand. Not a bad day.
Right.
But I believe everybody else in the match got 100 grand plus.
Wow. Well, there you go. $70,000 mistake. Well, shit. $88,000.
We'll get Jason Taylor to get our numbers together for us.
Okay.
But the point is, it was short-sighted of Mr. Orndorff. But to his point, nobody could have predicted the juggernaut and the success that this would become. I mean, at this point, how many wrestling promoters have we heard? I love Jason. 88K. Yeah, but if it was 12.5, it's 87.5, but whatever, we get you.
Okay.
I do think it's interesting though that nobody knew what this was going to become. And in this era, Vince McMahon is just quote unquote junior. And I know he hated that.
Right.
But a lot of people have big ideas. I had a conversation from a guy who's been chasing me for months and months for a phone call. And I finally called him after I finished recording the book with David Crockett on Saturday. And he couldn't wait to tell me all about his new wrestling promotion and all that he was going to do. And he has all these grand ideas.
Yeah.
And then I hung up the call and knew I'll never hear from him again.
Yeah. Right.
Like, okay. I even put it on speaker at one point, and Megan just walked by like, wow. So then I muted it and I said, hey, if he says, here, birdie, I'm hanging up. I got the middle finger and she carried on.
Oh, that's too good.
Dude, here, birdie. It'll be a big part of our relationship from now on.
It should be. It should be. If I ever see her again, that's the first thing I will say to her.
She will, if I'm there, she will slap my arm. It's like, Conrad. And I'll be like, I didn't tell him that on the show. I told him that in private. And then stupid ass Coach Rosie will come up and go, here, birdie.
Yeah, God. So let me ask you this. In the history of WrestleMania, Vince was banking on this thing doing big business for him. Did it do exactly what he thought, or did it do more than he thought?
Did more than he thought.
Okay. It went beyond expectations, in other words.
It exceeded all expectations for sure.
Monetarily.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. And it enabled him to, I guess, enabled him to build an incredible production facility and take his television program around the nation. Or was his television program all around the nation by that time? Had he broken away from the territories by that time?
He was already running TV in these different territories. At this point, he's bought out Georgia and he's buying time in other markets, which is why, you've got guys from all over the country on this show. I mean, specifically Roddy Piper and Buddy Rose from the Pacific Northwest, and
Right.
Paul Orndorff and others from Florida. And,
Right.
Vern, once upon a time, famously had Bobby Heenan and Mean Gene and Hulk Hogan.
And Hulk Hogan, yeah. And the Carolinas, Ricky Steamboat.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
There you go.
And Greg Valentine.
They already had the LJN action figures at this point. They came out in 84. But, listen, let's just be real. I don't think people don't spend enough time talking about what a big deal that is. I mean, look at what a big business wrestling action figures are and have been.
Right.
But they didn't really exist until LJN in 1984.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that like the AWA had those Rimco action figures and so forth, but they were all sort of following the lead of Vince McMahon. I think those Rimcos came out in 85. So everybody was sort of playing follow the leader here. So, this is another gamble, this closed circuit and pay-per-view concept, but it's not really creation. This one is borrowed from Dusty Rhodes. And I think that was one of the reasons, and I don't know and to pretend to be sort of half-assed psychologist with my friend, but I think that's one of the reasons Cody was so fired up once upon a time to do something outside the tent of WWE, because his dad created the big show and closed circuit and pay-per-view with Starrcade. But that's sort of, to the victor go the spoils. The NWA didn't win. WCW didn't win. The WWF did. So we're talking about WrestleMania like it was the first one. And really it was the second one.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say the NWA didn't win. We talk about wrestling like it's a war. And of course, in the business practices, you do compete against the other business, but is it really a war? I mean, I mean, yeah, Monday Night Wars, I get it. There's been books, there's been documentaries, there's been everything. And of course, the victors always write history.
That's right.
But I just wonder, I've often wondered this, and maybe I'm wrong, and I've never even talked to Tony Khan about this at all, but should we approach our business like it's a battlefield, like it's a war, or should we just try to do the best that we can do without, I don't know. There's something about that bothers me. Maybe I'm too nice of a guy to think everything's a war.
Well, I will be honest with you. I think Tony Khan at times does feel like he should just focus on his business. And I know I'm going to get some clapbacks about that, because certainly he's, talked about things on air and things like that. But as a reminder, he announces that his show is going to be on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then WWE announces, oh, well, ours will too.
Right.
So NXT,
right.
Okay, it just happens to be on the same night.
Right.
And even All In, AEW's first stadium show.
Right.
Oh, now just all of a sudden, we've got a Saturday night's main event at the exact same time on the exact same date. Like,
right.
Come on, man.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And I know, because I've been involved with the Crockett's for a long, long time. So I know what's going on, but I just don't know if that's the Christian thing to do. No, I don't know if that's the way you should approach your business. Are you there to try to do the best that you can be? Or are you there to try to cut the nuts off of your opponent? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I have to ask this question. I think it comes down to goal alignment. Do you think that Tony Khan opened AEW as a spite store? Do you think he opened AEW directly to mess with WWE's company brand? Or
he opened it up because Tony Khan is one of the biggest wrestling fans I've ever met in my life.
That's right. So that's my point.
Yeah.
I think, it really comes down to your intent. Now, if you have a stronghold in the industry like WWE does, it does make sense that you would try to eliminate all of your competition and maybe block them from getting national TV. And maybe hopefully they don't record it and then use it against you. And then your longtime lawyer retire. I mean, think about that. As far as I know, Jerry McDevitt only lost twice, once to the Panda and once to Court Bauer. Isn't that wild?
It is.
Who would have thought the Panda and Court Bauer?
What a combo.
A Panda and Court Bauer
Yeah.
walk into a bar When does Jerry McDivitt say, check, please?
Oh, we got a lot of shit going on here now.
Here we go. So Bob Orton Jr. is on the top rope with the cast. Roddy
Yeah.
Piper was coming to take care of Hulk Hogan. Mr. T cut him off. Down comes Orton, but Hogan ducks, and Orton hits his own man with the cast. Now Jimmy Snuka is stopping it, and that's it. Hulk Hogan has won, and WrestleMania is officially over. It's all done now except for Hogan must pose. Jimmy Snuka, Muhammad Ali, Pat Patterson, Mr. T, and Hulk Hogan.
And you say Hulk Hogan must pose. That was a big deal back then.
No doubt.
There was talk that that's what people came to see, Hulk Hogan pose. And the music hits. I am a real American. Good stuff, man.
Well, of course, these days they weren't doing Real American. They were doing Eye of the Tiger, I believe.
Were they? Okay, well, of course, yeah. And Hogan just came off. When was Rocky 3 where he played Thunder Lips? He was
Prior to
Thunder-
this.
right?
Let me see the exact year. Rocky 3 came out in 1982.
Okay, so 3 years prior.
That's right. So, yeah, WrestleMania 1 was indeed Eye of the Tiger
Mm-hmm.
by Survivor. And as we know, that was also a Rocky theme.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Rocky 3 was Mr. T, Clubber Lang, and that was a good one.
Well, boys and girls, we've had a lot of fun watching the original WrestleMania from 40 years ago. WrestleMania, of course, is coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But who cares about all that? Tonight, AEW is live at MGM at Fenway, and it's going to be a pretty historic night. It's a celebration for AEW. They are now the longest episodic weekly primetime television show in the wrestling genre on Turner Networks.
Dun, 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 dun.
They've outlasted Thunder. They've outlasted Nitro. And they're going to celebrate tonight. And tomorrow night, you can watch Collision live. As a reminder, Collision will not be head-to-head with night one of WrestleMania. Collision is a special Thursday night. And before we get out of here, we want to remind you that we're running a special on our Patreon over at patreon.com/WHW Monday. You can be a part of our live studio audience each and every Monday night at 10 o'clock by joining us at patreon.com/WHW Monday. But here to tell us about that special is our official spokesperson for AEW sales, the head of sales, Miss Ashley. Let's take a listen.
Hi guys, my name is Ashley, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to play ping pong. Just kidding. I don't know anything about ping pong, and my name is Ashley, but for 80% off, you can see my...
Go check it out right now. We've got it exactly what you're looking for at patreon.com/WHW Monday. But right now, Tony, it looks like it's about that time.
And I thought we would close with a little posing with Hulk Hogan's music. Dun, 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 dun. Look at them traps. Dun, 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 dun. We're out of time. See you next week on
Trump.
What Happened When. We come to you each and every Monday.
Patron! Patreon.com/WHW Monday. Or, of course, adfreeshows.com. Here, birdie. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. and you want to talk about early, you can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.